A perfect way for the Guinness Premiership to re-emerge on the back of the Heineken Cup pool stages. The top two meet in a match that for Gloucester has a European hangover, beaten here by a 14-man Cardiff Blues 2 weeks ago and seeing their European dreams extinguished. London Irish top of this table, but can they make it show on this ground as they did at the Madejski Stadium in December?
Well, in hindsight, that 42-12 hammering looks like the harbinger of Gloucester's dark, dismal January. Irish battered them at the breakdown, rampage from the turnover. A repeat would consolidate their position as league leaders, while a fourth straight defeat for Gloucester would plunge Dean Ryan and his men into something approaching a crisis. A win, however, takes Gloucester to the top. The Premiership, if nothing else, lives on a knife edge.
And the Gloucester side, a Scotland man in the front row for the former England man in Dean Ryan. Alistair Dickinson, a man for the Six Nations then, and again preferred to Nick Wood at number 1. New Zealander Greg Somerville back at tight head after damaging his left eye against Irish before Christmas. A last Kingsholm get to see their man. And Olivier Zam is seen here as captain for the first time, taking over from Luke Narroway in his absence and that of club captain Mike Tyndall too. Adam Eustace takes over in the second row. Will James injured in Biarritz. Alex Brown, ever present it seems, at 5. Another Scotland squad man, Alistair Strokosh and Apo Satala. They're the flankers. Gareth Delve back at number 8. For the first time this season, the Welshman raring to go after his long-term knee injury. Rory Lawson completes the Scottish squad trio. In the team, Ollie Barkley, not wanted by England, is asked to play fly half. No Ryan Lamb to start then. Anthony Allen is centre alongside Henry Trinder at 19. This a full Premiership debut for the young man who's been on loan at Moseley, scoring 8 tries this season in 10 appearances. James Simpson-Daniel working back to full fitness on one wing. Ian Bolshaw on 49 Premiership career tries is on the other. And it's Willie Walker at full-back with Ollie Morgan like Tyndall and Narroway with England. Irish too without England squad players, Shane Geraghty and Steffan Armitage. But as you will see, a couple of their England men have been given back to them in order to get some time on the field. Clark Dermody, well, he props against fellow countryman Somerville. It's Tonga Leatoa from Tonga at 3, and David Pay's capped by England and New Zealand in the summer. He's hooker. Nick Kennedy, one of the loaned back England stars. He's with captain Bob Casey at lock. Casey back in the Irish squad. Richard Thorpe and Declan Danaher, the flankers, both with 4 tries this season. In fact, Irish forwards have scored 15 of their side's 35 tries, the best in the Premiership as a group and as a team total. Chris Haller of Fear is number 8. Paul Hodgson, who scored 1 of 4 tries for Irish when these two met in December. Peter Hewitt got 5 on his own against Connacht recently in the Challenge Cup. Then the Samoan centres, Selala Mapasua and Elvis Seviali'i. A new face on the wing, a debut in this competition for 21-year-old Adam Thompson, looking to emulate Tom Homer, who's gone well this season when given the chance. Topsy Ojo, he's on the other wing. He played for England, of course, in New Zealand in the summer. Dylan Armitage will be playing with England next week, surely barring injury. That just leaves the benches. Andy Hazel is back for Gloucester, out since November with a badly bruised knee. Ryan Lamb there too, you will see. And for Irish, 5 forwards their way, plus 2 backs, including player coach Mike Catt. Well, Gloucester had a nightmare journey to France. Their European exit confirmed on the Friday, the majority of the squad not getting back until Monday because of the weather. But there should be no issues against the table-topping London Irish. Motivation all there. Especially as Gloucester were beaten 42-12 by London Irish the week before Christmas. It was a sit-up-and-take-note result, that one. Irish not with the greatest record here. They were caught cold last season in March and left themselves too much to do on that night. And they were decidedly chilly at Saracens over Christmas. And although they played better at Sale in their last Premiership match, they still lost. So Bob Casey and his side with Nick Kennedy back alongside. And Dylan Armitage in it as well. What a way to really launch their bid, not just for a semi-final place, but for the title itself, if they could win here.
Well, all the headlines really are about the England players coming back, but Bob Casey, big, straight and ordinary, my sort of second row, alongside Kennedy, they really are a formidable duo. They will be waiting for Olivier Azam, first day as Gloucester captain. How is he going to react?
Dean Ryan, as always, very honest this week. Changes have to be made. Can this group of players do it for him and the club supporters? Well, it's time for these men to show that change starts here. 37 points from 12 games and second spot in the table is no reason to panic. But Gloucester fans want reasons to believe.
Yeah, Ollie Barkley there, he's got a big day at 10. But this man, Alex Brown, important up against Kennedy. Very much the barometer for Gloucester. If he is playing well, Gloucester win. When he goes quiet, Gloucester struggle. Brown against Kennedy, very important. And of course, Barkley at 10. Can Gloucester get the shape they've been missing for a month?
Dave Pearson, he's the man in the middle. The Cardiff Blues use this ground to launch their bid for #1 seeding in the Heineken Cup. Will London Irish leave Kingsholm still as the Premiership #1 seeds? Or will Gloucester go top tonight as the front runners go head-to-head? And it's Hamlet of fear from the kick-off from Gloucester. Hodgson to Hewitt at fly half again today. Dylan Armitage, the fullback.
Doesn't mess around. Peter Hewitt, very talented player. Oh, we've got a little scuffle early on. Well, entirely predictable. You and I, our eyes were on the ball in the line-out. But what's happened to Gloucester the last 3 weeks? It would have been a miracle if the Cherry and Whites didn't come out looking for a bit of action here.
A shirt-ripping start. That'll need to be changed.
Hold the mess too.
Adam Eustace. No surprise also that Olivier Azam was on the scene during the scuffle.
There are all sorts of leadership, and Azam, I think we can safely assume his will be from the front today. And Azam, very important though that he doesn't let the emotional drain of being captain get to his throw-in, because he's up against the very best in the Premiership in Kennedy. Azam has to be accurate.
Especially against the Steelers. Kennedy and Casey. The Shed is in good voice. Here's Lawson restored to scrum half. All round comes Tower. In goes Dickinson and Thorpe. All in front of the Shed.
Well, Bob Casey involved there. Dave Pearson, very quick, very decisive. The crowd didn't like it. There were a couple of flailing arms. Now Ollie Barkley could go from here. It's a long way out. It is just about within his range on a normal day, but it's soft underfoot. Michael and myself were watching him kick from this sort of range, but bang in front of the post, and he got it over, but he was tentative with the right foot that he placed down. No surprise he goes to touch.
And Gloucester will throw to this line out again. Barkley got his touch, but he could have been a little bit more adventurous than that, maybe.
Well, that's a really poor effort. If you're just going to prod it 10 metres, go for the kick at goal.
Goes to the numberless Eustace. There's Satala. Lawson. Barkley. Simpson Daniel. Oh, he's gone right into the arm there. He was starting to fall a little bit. And Dave Pearson says it's coming in at the side. Simpson Daniel, good to see that he's okay. There was a fair old clatter. It's another Gloucester penalty, same offence. Last season's player of the season, James Simpson-Daniel, having another season this season affected badly by injury.
Well, Dean Ryan, those of you watching before the game, talked about the blitz D defence. Adam Thompson, the new left winger there. Simpson-Daniel is coming around, trying to find this space. But as Simpson-Daniel takes the ball, bang! Flattened by the left wing, slightly high. Gloucester trying to fix a space for their match winner. That's very close, you know, to being a technically magnificent tackle. It's such a tight call, isn't it? Great defence, I think, there from Thompson, though, for a youngster coming in. Very confident in his decision-making.
And worth reiterating, it wasn't the reason for the penalty. Thompson announces his presence in the Premiership on his debut day. Here's Ollie Barkley in the fly-half jersey for Gloucester today. Going for the points this time and missing the chance to put Gloucester into a nerve-settling early lead.
Not treacherous underfoot, but it's not good either. Fiery start to this game, isn't it?
Peter Hewitt, second in the point-scoring table in the Premiership at the start of this weekend. Only Glenn Jackson of Saracens in front of him. Now we get a look at the other debutant in the Premiership today, Gloucester's Trinder, but that ball is turned over, and it's the Irish backs who slickly move it towards Topsy Ojo, who then gets the jeers of the shed.
Gloucester must be careful. Turnover ball is what Irish thrive on in the 42-12 demolition job at the Madejski. It was clear, it was mainly off turnover that they won that game. Difficult start there for young Henry Trinder. Lost the ball going into contact. It went backwards, but it was never good set ball for Gloucester.
Zam looking for Brown. He got a touch, but not enough to keep it away from Richard Thorpe. Here's Hodgson to Hewitt, out along the line. It was Mapasua and his colleague, Samoan teammate Saviali'i, very quick to try and help out. There'll be a big test for young Trinder through the middle.
Last foot. Ball is offside.
Advantage here to London Irish. And the penalty given. Again coming round on the wrong side. Players going to have to watch this. Dave Pearson will just keep on blowing.
Ian Bolshaw's got more experience than you think he can get away from that. Side entry there, and it was very obvious with the touch judge on hand just in case Dave Pearson missed it, and he was never going to miss it. Now I think the fact that Peter Hewitt has gone for the corner tells you that the conditions are difficult. And what a difference. Ollie Barkley poked it 5 metres. Hewitt went for it under very difficult circumstances. This is where the pressure comes from. Olivier Zam's first line out overthrown. It was Casey putting the pressure on. It's Irish in the attacking position now.
And what breeze there is at the backs of London Irish in this first half. So Hewitt basing his decision on the surface here, which is decidedly tacky. Good throw from pace. Halofir is coming round, but he's missed out by the long pass from Hodgson to Thompson. And Thompson stayed on his feet long enough there for the support to arrive. No left winger, it's going to have to go right. It does. Hodgson into midfield. Here's Leotoa. Mick Kennedy was there, and that's a flop from Gloucester, and it's a penalty that will be kicked.
5 didn't move to start.
Peter Hewitt will just knock this one over. 3 points for Irish, and after Gloucester's decent first 5 minutes, it will be Irish who will take the first 3 points. Greg Somerville, the man who finally gave the penalty away after Alex Brown had been warned, flopping off his feet there.
It's good to see him back so early, isn't he? He detached the retina in his left eye against London Irish on his Premiership debut in the week before Christmas. Spent a lot of money on this man. Gloucester eager now to see their return, but also relieved that the injury was not more serious
Up there 3 seconds
than originally it seemed.
That's the problem.
And in that match, Peter Hewitt scored 22 points, including 6 penalty goals. This for his first this afternoon. crowd told him to get on with it, but Hewitt just concentrated to the point where he wanted to get to make sure of what was an easy kick. 3-0 Irish lead.
Interesting little subplot today as well for connoisseurs of the front row game. Clark Dermody, formerly of Otago, himself an All Black international, against the more illustrious Greg Somerville. And Somerville gave the penalty away, but from Gloucester's point of view, his winning experience, tournament with the Canterbury Crusaders, is vital today.
3 caps Dermody against Somerville's 66, so internationally a gulf there. Here's Hodgson to Hewitt. Walker, difficult catch, made it look easy. Simpson-Daniel. Delve is going with him. And then it's just booted off the field by Hewitt, took no risk there.
Good early decision from Simpson-Daniel there. He kicked very quickly and Hewitt read it extremely well as the full-back he is, but he spent no time weighing out his options. As soon as he caught the ball, he put the chip in. Walker caught it, Simpson-Daniel kicked it, and because there was no delay, Hewitt has to hammer that ball out. Good position for Gloucester.
Azam throws. Long to the tail, not straight, says the referee. Looking for narrow aid, but the man who has been captain from the man who is captain today, able to get it right between the two of them.
Goes a long way, doesn't it? There goes a long way, and Azam has to get this line out right. The London Irish set piece is so good. It's always been a foundation of their game, and teams that do not compete with Irish find it very hard to win because they play an uncomplicated game. Hewitt will kick long, and it's hard to beat Irish playing from deep for 80 minutes.
Irish starting the day on 39 points from their 12 games, Gloucester 37 from 12, although Irish have lost 2 of their last 3 in the Guinness Premiership, both away. Those games that I mentioned, Saracens and Sale. Yeah, it was an early drive there from Gloucester. Never stable, that scrum. I mean, they're wound up, totally understandably, in view of how their European campaign ended, in a rather lame way. Dylan Armitage.
Inside, no problems. Wait, 11!
He does strike the ball beautifully, Armitage. Bolshaw to Barkley.
2 weight.
Hewitt. All day if he likes. Gloucester just stopped. Dropped by Bolshaw. Advantage clearly there to London Irish.
First error from Ian Bolshaw then. This kicking battle is very important. You could see there Barkley trying to use his left foot, just a wrong foot London Irish, but the angle wasn't quite right. And Hewitt does read play quite beautifully. He's a very intelligent player, be it at 10 or 15. And you know, with Armitage and Hewitt there, you've got 2 guys who read the kicking game like fullbacks, and that basically gives you 2 goalkeepers, 2 sweepers if you like. Makes it very hard for Gloucester to find those gaps.
Touch, pause, engage.
Again, the scrum is on the move. Again, it's Gloucester's fault, says referee Dave Pearson. Free kick.
No, it's a free kick, time off. You're hitting and you're not coming straight, you're going straight across the scrum. Hit, stay straight, please. Free kick.
The props want to go for another scrum, so does Bob Casey.
London Irish will be hoping that Somerville is penalised again for the 3rd time for just boring in there.
You put it in.
He's coming in on the tie head. He's trying to break Dermody and pace apart and get to the Irish scrum. But David Pearson is very quick on this at the moment.
Big challenge today for Somerville and for Delve back in the side. They've got to be up to speed here. Trying to speed down the wing is Paul Hodgson. Little shove from Delve. Lawson can't control. Hodgson's got it back. Just short of the line. Thorpe arrived. Now in comes Pace and Kennedy. Is the ball there for London Irish?
Hands up, red!
Hodgson has it now. Here's Thompson all through the gap, and he's scored on debut. Made an impact with a tackle, and now he makes a bigger impact on the game with its first try. Adam Thompson is the scorer.
Well, he's been standing at inside centre, but we haven't seen him given an attacking ball yet. Could see now why London Irish want to get the ball into this man's hands. David Pearson makes Gloucester scrummage straight. It's not the greatest scrum, but this is lovely from Hodgson. It's awful for Lawson. He catches it. The impetus of landing just forces the ball out, and then this from Thompson. Little step there. Satala slides, doesn't he? And he's through. Strokos, Satala. Good finish there. Just watch Satala now. The Fijian just loses his balance there. The gap's too wide. The gate between 6 and 7. And dream moment for Thompson. And Danaher's enjoying it as well. He scores a few in his time, doesn't he, Declan Danaher?
He's got 4 this season, along with Richard Thorpe. They scored plenty from the back row. That one for Adam Thompson, who scored in Revigo. Now he scored in the Premiership as well. Here's Hewitt. Well, it flirted with the post, but nothing more. Not from that distance. Really wasn't going to miss, so it's 10-0, frontline Phil Davis.
Just looking at the penalty Somerville gave away, highlighted here the scrum. As you can see him going close, his angle is right in towards the London Irish hooker. Free kick that led to the penalty led to the try.
A couple of those offences that took London Irish into the attacking position, and they took full advantage. And now the Gloucester nerves will really build. Beaten on this ground just 2 weeks ago against the Cardiff Blues. Even though they weren't out of the Heineken Cup, it felt like they were that evening. And that sort of showed in Biarritz. Stuart.
Clark Dermody, we talked about him. The Otago prop just takes up Alex Brown, and that's what opens up the hole for Satala. Look at Dermody's little line there, just checks him. A mess though. Strokos, Satala, big hole there, and this is a terrible start for Gloucester.
Barkley puts up the high ball. Here comes Ojo. It's going through the middle though. Anthony Allen overran it. Pulled out of the air by Trinder. Satala. Nani was bought to replace Akapusi Ongera, who is coming back to fitness. He was pulling weights along the floor in training yesterday, dragging them. Dickinson short pass.
Stay.
Azam.
Hands out now, 3.
Lawson. Here comes Satala again. And he's dropped the ball.
Satala's very important because he and Delve have to generate momentum, get the Gloucester forwards over the gain line so that Lawson could get quick ball. But at the moment, Irish, as ever, are doing a very good job on the gain line defensively and then slowing it. There you can see David Pace making the tackle. And it's Bob Casey in with a secondary hit there. And Gloucester just cannot get the right quality ball. And, you know, Delve's a very different sort of player to Narroway. Narroway carries very well, but he's quite loose. And I sense what Gloucester need is someone to give them clear targets. Because all too often what they do is go wide early. And against London Irish, and as Dean Ryan called it, the Blitz D, you are begging for trouble, as we saw when Simpson Daniel was hit by Thompson.
Green 9.
Shortened to the Blitz D, soon it will be the BD.
You go for a wash there.
You knew where I was going.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not literally.
Difficult start. It was interesting, wasn't it, from the restart? The noise here, the Gloucester crowd undoubtedly trying to pick their team up, because this is a very knowledgeable crowd, and I think they understand where Gloucester are this season and this game.
Yeah, half an hour before kick-off when they were running around in the warm-up. It's one of those days where the shed gave it some. And they're still trying to shout their encouragement to their men and how they need their help here. Went back into the 22. Hewitt has put it out on the full.
Whichever way, old laws, new laws. That was going out on the full, going all the way back. But the problem is now, as Peter Hewitt puts his hand up, Olivier Azam has been struggling with the line-out throw. Gloucester simply have to have the platform in the right position, in the danger zone, if they're going to score. London Irish defend brilliantly from a long way.
Choice of the tail again, didn't work with the not straight before, and now it's stolen by London Irish at that Gloucester tail. Issues for Gloucester there, and their captain. Walker. Topsy Ojo. And he's okay. That obviously went to him directly when he was in the 22. Let's go to Phil again on the front line.
Thanks, Miles. Just having a look at Gloucester's lineouts, having a few problems. When they get movement, London Irish close the gap, get up in front of them and control and steal the ball.
Bob Casey, one captain, nicking the ball from the other, Azam, and it's not just about the ball itself and controlling it, it's about the psychological battle, and Irish have started brilliantly on all fronts.
Kennedy nearly getting across there at the front of the line out as well. It's 10 weeks since Kennedy and Casey have been paired together. And you can see in everything that they're doing for their side out there that they're delighted to be back in harness. Casey back in the Ireland squad, Kennedy in the England squad, but playing in this match because he's been struggling with injury, and England want to see just exactly where he's at. Well, the early indications are, certainly for Gloucester here today, is that Kennedy and Casey are where they want to be.
They're a lovely contrast, you know. As I said, Casey is an uncomplicated lock forward, but he's inspiring in this team. Kennedy very athletic, very much the modern second row, the perfect blend. And there's two London Irish teams. There's London Irish when they're not together, and there's London Irish when they're in tandem. And the worry for Gloucester is they've started in tandem.
Zam, sensibly you feel, returns to Eustace at the front of the line out just to make sure.
Move!
Alex Brown.
Don't play the scrum half, do not!
Gloucester looking for the weight around the fringe
6 off it!
to get a driving game going, and then bring the backs in. It's all a little bit cluttered there, but Anthony Allen, with good feet, manages to find a way through it. Barkley from Somerville's pass. Now it's Trinder.
No, go away.
It's a penalty to London Irish.
Time off.
It's a Zam.
It's a good gain line break by Anthony Allen, but Olivier Azam has undermined his play.
I saw it, you tried to trip him. Last chance.
A failed trip.
Not a captain's example.
Now, in the same way, his feeble global globe award for the headbutt against Cardiff Blues was not either. The Golden Globe, I should say. And look what he's done to his team there. That's terrible captaincy. Allen had got his team over the gain line, and then Azam cost them with his attempted trip. He's straight through Hewitt here, moves his feet well, sets a target up, and then Azam gives it away.
No further.
He has got good feet in those situations, Anthony Allen. And good to see him back as well. He's been suffering from ankle problems.
He's also suffered not playing often with Ryan Lamb. He normally carries more metres than that. Mapasua, in contrast, is very effective and dangerous.
Hodgson to Thompson again. Thompson nearly getting through. He's found Hallett Ofir. Off the floor it comes Hodgson. That's lovely interplay from London Irish to keep that alive. And they're very much alive here as they look for the corner. They look for Armitage and Ojo. And Dave Pearson takes a look as well to confirm that a try has been scored. What a good score it is. Top of the table, looking to show it, and they certainly did that.
Well, it starts with a man normally playing left wing, Thompson, again getting behind them. The link play with Hallett Ofir is superb. I wondered whether Danaher should have gone through the hands, but everything about this is sharp. Again, Gloucester at the 10-12 area, big holes. Look at the quick ball from Hallett Ofir. Quick ball from Danaher again, and Hodgson, he's fast as you like, sweeps that ball away. Lovely missed ball from Hewitt, and the England fullback Armitage gives Ojo the chance, and this is going into crisis mode in this match for Gloucester. Armitage steps inside, he draws Simpson Daniel, the fullback does well, Ojo has to finish it. But that's a tale of the back three. Thompson's interjection, the angle of Armitage, and the finish of Ojo. Brilliant score.
Ojo, who scored in the first 3 games of 2009, gets another one here. 2 tries for London Irish already, just past the midway point in this first half. they look like the team at the top, and Gloucester at the moment do not look like a second-place side. Here's Hewitt from out wide. Oh, nearly two more. Stays at Gloucester 0, Irish 15.
Is that the first thing that has gone Gloucester's way since their fiery first 3 minutes? Irish looking very composed. They get into the territory and they strike. Gloucester's defence is being shredded at the moment. The first break comes again. It's off Bob Casey, who's having a lovely game at the moment.
And that's a push in the air as Gloucester followed the restart.
Stay on it.
A lot of this is of Gloucester's own making. Irish have been clinical, yes, when they've been given the chances, but you think about Bolshaw's drop, you think about the free kick from the early drive at the scrum, and then the Azam attempt to trip. And on each occasion, it's put Irish in scoring range, and they've left with points.
Yeah, quite right. I mean, the Azam attempted trip, really, that cost a try in the sense of the position. Irish then did brilliantly to take it, but Gloucester do look like a nervous team. That's what happens. When you're nervous, you make errors, you do stupid things, you make counterproductive mistakes like this. Tetchy play, you can see there, Eustace firing into his man in the air. Another easy 40 metres. I don't know how many metres Gloucester have given up in the first 25 with needless penalties.
Hodgson over the top, meant for Ojo. It's bobbling around and Walker gets it, but look at that support work from London Irish, how they chase through Mapasua and others.
Stay too careful too.
Nobody seems to do anything on their own for London Irish. There's always support. Gloucester get relief of a penalty. Not many win here. Let's just put it into context. OK, Leicester Tigers do, but aside from that, the only side to have won here in the Premiership since May 2006 is London Wasps.
Oh, you just wonder though, don't you? You're quite right, the Premiership they lose very infrequently, but I think that 14-man against 15-man defeat against Cardiff Blues is preying on their minds. Willie Walker at fullback, normally so accomplished technically, doesn't make that his. Barkley's kick is not long. Everything is going wrong for the Cherry and Whites.
At least it was a penalty and they could throw into the line out after the Barkley slice. Now he's dropped back.
Inside.
Lawson service to Barkley.
Think we're inside.
Quickly, Irish get it moving again. Walker coming across and the bounce of the ball is being drilled to him, and also to Bolshaw, and nearly in. So nearly in again, London Irish. One of those nearly moments.
Quick-witted London Irish at their best. That is not the first time they have done that this season. London Irish love to go very quickly on these line-outs, and it ended up with Gloucester in a state of mayhem there.
Sevialiti connects with that.
It's another score. But how quick was Ojo on the line out there?
Zam to Adam Eustace. His first start today since Calvisano in December. And along with his teammates, really had to hit the ground running in this match. We said crowd up for it.
That's
Their
international.
pride should have indented, but it's not going that way. It's going Irish's way, and it's Ojo, and Irish can they can build a significant lead here, if it's not already that. Walker kicks.
Yeah, good man, you're on. Inside, no problem, and still
Hewitt.
inside.
Now London Irish 15-0 up, they can play territory and they can force Gloucester to play from deep. It's absolutely perfect from their perspective, as was this take from Dylan Armitage. Marlon Johnson watching, wants to see if his fullback's fit. Superb, it was a good high ball. Bolshaw's chase was excellent, the fullback was strong.
He says he's not taking anything for granted, what with Ollie Morgan of Gloucester and Ben Foden arriving on the fullback scene since he last played for England. But he went well in the autumn to Dylan Armitage. And he's going well here. Topsy Ojo got his chance in the summer, not since then. Walker.
Time out. Foul play flag, far side.
There's a flag on the far side. Assistant
Just
referee
create some space.
Must
caught
say,
the attention of Dave Pearson.
Willie Walker's tactical kicking is not good enough
Stay
at
where
the
you are,
moment.
Greens.
We're going
Stay
to hear
there,
about
stay
a
there.
late tackle here, but
Let's have a few.
Gloucester are going to have to kick better than this, much better.
We'll listen in to Stuart Terridge
All yours, I haven't seen
and
any.
Dave Pearson.
5 green through the line out, tried to stop the pass, took out the scrum half late, penalty
15.
15.
Yeah. 5.
Bob Casey.
Big fella's been putting
no
it about.
discussion. Clear. Don't take the scrum half. Okay. Same as them. Just calm down and giving daft penalties.
Okay, sir.
Stu, where are we?
Captain's giving penalties away today.
Giving penalties, losing line-outs. On this instance, Azam goes front again. And Casey, let's just say the assistant referee thought that was a penalty.
But to be fair, Bob Casey didn't really argue, did he? He sort of accepted it. Anyway, decision given. Harlequins 7, Northampton 0 at the Stoop. 3 o'clock kickoff there.
Come in,
Gary
stop,
Bertrand,
jump.
his return to the side, has scored. And Chris Latham has scored for Worcester against the Sale Sharks. Of course, Worcester without Clive Griffiths now, having left the coaching staff.
Out of it,
Sale
Green, no, stay. That's
under
stay.
the direction of Kingsley Jones. Now we know where Philip Sant-Andre is going, or we've had that confirmed, we should say. I think we knew for a while. Now Gloucester need a score, and they've got a chance here. Lawson thinks about it, but needs some points on the board.
Yeah, 15-0 down at this stage. 15-3 keeps Gloucester in the game. Another penalty
Kicking
before
tees on again,
half-time.
lads, go.
They could chip their way back, a moment of magic from someone like Bolshaw or Simpson, Daniel. But this is the problem from Gloucester's position, and London Irish, while Gloucester are so far behind, will kill ball because they will stop Gloucester getting quick ball, and without quick ball, Gloucester cannot score.
London Irish never unhappy about giving penalties away. Champion sides tend not to worry about being top of the pile on that front. If they're top of the pile on the front, that really matters. The league table, the side in second place, Gloucester get their first points of the afternoon.
We'll just go
I'd say
back
they're
to
back in the match, but it's a start.
Yeah, well, we just go back to what we were saying to us about the penalties. They're London Irish top of the heap there, and as you say, over the years, both Leicester and Wasps have known when to give penalties away. There is a correlation between conceding a lot of penalties and winning a lot of trophies. You've just got to be smart enough to know where and when to do it. And for most of this season, Irish have developed that cute habit. That time they were punished, but while they're 12, 15 points up, they won't mind. Gloucester at some stage will need more than 3.
Hewitt restarts. Simpson Daniel to Trinder. Yes, you might think that it's the side struggling at the bottom that would be at the top of the penalty giveaway table,
No,
but
sorry.
life's not like that.
No, the naive suffer. They get trod upon and kicked. And the old sly ones, they finish off at the top. London Irish, though, I wouldn't say they're just sly ones. There's a bit more to them than that. Playing some lovely constructive football as well. And I must say, Casey's given a few away today, but his leadership has been exemplary thus far.
Yes, you're at the top of the table for more reasons than you just give penalties away. And London Irish are showing that to us again with Mapasua, that wonderfully reliable man in their centre. And if you were compiling a list, as that one goes forward, of most wanted players in the Premiership, then Selala Mapasua will be towards the top of that list as well. He looks a little bit like a most wanted poster as well.
He's a good body position. But that time, as London Irish try and utilise the quick ball he sets up, the shed decide it's a forward pass, and Dave Pearson agrees with him. Uncomplicated, but a target. It's what Gloucester, without Allen and Lamb in tandem, have lacked. Barkley plays much deeper. It hasn't worked at 12 for them. It has worked for London Irish, because if Geraghty plays, He's very different. He's not as forceful as Mapasua, but he's got these quick feet that gets him over the gain line. Mapasua just tramples over the man in his flight path.
Touch of the mean Western dude about him.
Dude.
So I'm just trying to use your language, that's all.
Stay down.
Lawson, in comes a hand, but that's surely a knock-on, and referee Pearson calls it.
Again, Gloucester are really not having their own way in the scrums at the moment. There's a lot of pressure coming on. Lawson's getting very little quick ball, and you can see it's turned, and Thorpe knows that if he puts his hand out, that is not going to be a counter-attack from Gloucester. Good pressure from Irish, scavenging, keeping Lawson and the Gloucester pack on the back foot.
Shoulder out, tight, loose.
Rory Lawson about to put in the Six Nations squad for Scotland. Of course, competitive position. Mike Blair there in pole position. Chris Cussiter too. Gloucester try and get a bit of pace on it, but Bolshaw has kicked it away, and London Irish are absolutely brilliant at taking advantage of ball that is kicked down their throats. Thompson has joined the back three today and is revelling in this with his first try in the Premiership. Already on the board.
Great retrieve from Armitage there, got his own kick back, and now London Irish have the put in. These little things, you put that ball up. Bolshaw fired a kick infield, which gave away an attacking position, and then Armitage put height on it, gave himself a chasing chance, and just watch this again. He's a big man, and his timing is excellent, and then Thompson takes it over. Those little things give you control of a game. And Armitage doing everything he does well. He's not having to do a great deal, but he's looking very solid.
It's coming over to the side for instruction, not treatment. There's Mike Catt, 37 years of age now on the bench. Oldest player in the Premiership at the moment. He's got a month on Northampton's Tom Smith. Worked up about something.
I remember Michael in his younger days used to enjoy the odd away victory here for Bath, standing outside me at inside centre. It's very good in those days as being the greyhound who chased up and under when the legs were going on me. Very quick. He's mellowed now, but not that much.
Tell you what, I watched him in training yesterday morning, and he still strikes a beautiful ball.
He kicks the ball fantastically, doesn't he? Just lovely, easy timing.
I mean, technically, I don't think he's seen a better striker in recent times in this league.
He's got better and better. He's like a pro golfer who's not under pressure. Great scrum there from Gloucester.
Hallett of fear through the hands of Mapasua. Hewitt struggling as well. Chance maybe for a bit of front foot from Gloucester, but Hewitt has somehow managed to bounce his way through there. And Hallett of fear goes through the middle, but no, says the referee.
He moved.
Lawson, who's down at the moment, has to make the tackle on Hewitt, though. Rare opportunities against league leaders to put them under pressure. The scrum initially is good.
Time off.
Irish are backpedaling there. The ball goes backward. You've got to nail Hewitt now. And look at this, missed. Hewitt's got to be going 3 metres backward and giving Gloucester a target. As it is, he scrambles 2 metres forwards and he gives his team a target.
And the man on the ground who was about to get up and make a tackle was moved, and the referee said it wasn't a deliberate act, but there had been an accidental offside because of it. So it'll be a scrum.
Just 8 minutes till half-time. Gloucester must be very worried because they haven't developed any real momentum at all. Irish have been in charge and Gloucester just don't look sharp. What happens here? Lawson, I think they catch a little boot in the ribs. Ouch. Accidentally in a deliberate sort of way. You know what I mean.
Oh, where are we going? Shoulder, straight.
Gloucester lost their last 3 matches. Dean Ryan has never had a run of 4 defeats in charge here. Delve controls at the base of the scrum now. Getting a bit of a drive on there. Delve.
Not held.
Supported by Strokosh, and not held. Now he has to release. Lawson to Satala. Have the back row got their side going here. Lawson again to Barkley. It's very tight for Trinder, but he's done well, the youngster. Bolshaw there as well. Turned over, and suddenly Gloucester look around and say, who's going to go back? Satala has got the pace, more pace than Brown, and Satala is down and up again, just in time.
Well, Mapasua has done a small miracle there for his team. He ripped the ball from Bolshaw when Gloucester had a decent attacking position.
And he's followed up well too to earn the penalty in front of the post.
Look at that. Wonderful there from Mapasua. But I've got to say, Gloucester are not sprinting back. Satala's the only one going. He's on his own. Mapasua doesn't go down. He's patient. Then comes the penalty from an attacking position. As you say, Gloucester's best scrum of the game. With Delve getting over the gain line, it's about to be 18-3 again.
And all the eggs were in the attacking basket there for Gloucester. They did not expect that ball to be turned over. And Brown was trying to get back, but he's not the quickest. It was left to Satala. He really was on his own. Well played at Mapasua.
And at this stage, it's not just the ghost of that loss to 14-man Cardiff Blues that's worrying him. Let's go back 6 weeks, 42-12. Because this is Kingsholm, and this kick goes over, as we assume, it's 3-18. Suddenly, Gloucester are thinking, are this team that much better than us? And if they start thinking, the answer is yes, they're in for a very traumatic second half.
And the other side of that coin, of course, is London Irish,
Thinking,
who would have come into this game full of belief because of what they achieved at the Medeski Stadium. When you talk about history, some of the long-range history is irrelevant. This one isn't. This just happened before Christmas, the week before Christmas. It's fresh in the minds of all of these players, and London Irish are playing like that, oozing confidence. 18-3 they lead now.
It was wonderful play from Mapasua. Ripped the ball from Bolshaw. Sevialiti, I said Mapasua. Brilliant from Sevialiti there. I sort of assume all good things stem from Mapasua, but it was his Samoan mate, Sevialiti, there.
Gary Johnson is on for London Irish.
No hands! Stay there. Always inside, Stu. Stay there.
Hewitt. It's Declan Danaher, the man who's gone off. Just looking around.
Out the 10, keep coming.
It's all eyes on the up and under now. Simpson Daniel chases, but he can't get close enough to Ojo. And Ojo, as is his way, has that lovely turn out of a tackle and the pace to go with it.
Straight off your feet.
But it's London Irish's turn to fail to stay on their feet and concede what could be for Gloucester a vital penalty. A little bit of a foothold again before half-time.
Well, they need to strike very quickly, don't they? Having gone 18-3 down, they need to get that gap back to a manageable 12 points. It's a big 12 points, but it's just about gettable. 3-18, 2 converted tries, and you're still not there. And once again, Willie Walker misses the first tackle. Gloucester get away with this one, but they are just not making the first tackles. When the Irish players are static, they're spinning out of the tackle. They've got to make those hits. Gloucester really not been in their 22 at all. Oh, it's a pretty decent strike rate from London Irish, but it's amazing. Gloucester just no territory.
Nothing to build on. Can they snatch back another 3 points? Yes, they can. So important that those flags went up for Gloucester on that occasion from Ollie Barkley. It was one of those must-get kicks. And 12 points at home should not be insurmountable. Do Gloucester have the character and therefore the credentials?
And the rugby intelligence, because right now the Gloucester fans just must be thinking, we haven't been able to work our way into positions to win this game. Unless Irish give a huge amount of penalties away, Gloucester still have all the questions to answer. Cannot rely all season on individual brilliance. They do that too often.
Lawson to Allen, Simpson Daniel. Cries of a late challenge, but I don't think it was. The officials don't think so. That's the most important thing.
Shed trying everything in their powers to get their team back into it. Sharp down the blind side. It is a fraction late, actually. They're not usually given, though.
can see why it wasn't given, with the man just flying in.
And you can see why the crowd had a bit of a roar.
Yeah. Catches from James Simpson-Daniel. Lawson, Barkley, Walker. Over the head of Trinder to find Bolshaw, who again goes for the boot. Now this one might snake away and help him out. Now can Gloucester do what London Irish do and put some pressure on a line-out throw just before half-time?
Got lucky there, Ian Bolshaw. Here's a very good take from Simpson-Daniel under pressure. Oh, they've gone quickly.
Irish did want to give Gloucester that opening, that potential opening. Armitage.
Another example of London Irish not being afraid in any circumstances to back themselves with a quick throw. Dylan Armitage there. It's not looking comfortable.
And the England management team look on with interest as Armitage was just caught there by a trailing leg. He's back on his feet and needs to be here because Gloucester now throwing in. Time against them, but chance for this attack if they can get the ball back. Azam, that just simply was not convincing enough, the way it went to the front of the line out, the way it was palmed down, and the way Azam tried to rather frantically drag it back.
Well, he gets a second go, doesn't he? But that's definitely 4 line-outs that have gone missing here at the moment, and Gloucester are playing with foundations of quicksand at the moment.
Step down, please.
What Gloucester would give to do what London Irish so often do and take these quick line-outs. Gloucester,
Stay where you are.
mid-table in the Premiership. Irish much more than anyone. Quick-witted, quick line-outs. Gloucester, it's slow, it's static, and they need something here.
Well, Brown had gone across to Azam, and the order surely was to give it to me, which he did. Here's Anthony Allen, the crowd desperate for their side to give them something to shout about just before half-time. We're in the final play now, lost by Eustace, but Walker comes in. Lawson. Strokosh was there. Lawson again. Barkley coming along the line now with Allen. Good organisation from London Irish. And it's offside from London Irish. Perhaps too organised, too keen. And Barkley will get a chance for more points.
10.
Well, London Irish know what they're doing there. There's something quite ruthless about their defence, but that is not the right place to give a penalty away. And as Dean Ryan goes towards the changing room, he's turning his back, assuming that his fly half will make this 18-9. And if that is the case at half-time, Gloucester are in this game, but they will not stay in this game unless they pick their pace up. Bob Casey has led his team superbly. Irish look a comfortable, top-of-the-table team. Gloucester look a team who are very tentative and very nervous. It should be 9-18. But Irish will go in much the happier team. It's very rarely I have seen Gloucester so outplayed in 40 minutes at Kingsholm.
And so much of the time outside that 22. And right on the 22, Ollie Barkley. Another must-get kick. Which he does. 9 points the difference. Irish still with a reasonably healthy lead. Will it be enough? The evidence of the first half suggests that it will, but Gloucester have a chance now to regroup and come out a different team in the second period. 3 pull defeats in Europe. They did not deserve to go through. Do they deserve?
On through. Hear the shed getting into full voice. It's a very, very important 40 minutes coming up here, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and we need the shed and the whole crowd to get behind the boys because, you know, as I say, the guys are a little bit short on confidence, and we really need this win, and hopefully they'll grind it out today.
First score's got to be yours, hasn't it?
Definitely. It's going to be real difficult if they get any more points on the scoreboard, and hopefully that's the message going out in the changing room.
What would have been the message? If there's one thing Dean Ryan would have emphasised at half-time, what would he have said?
I think just a little bit of urgency, you know, there's 50-50 balls on the floor. It seems that London Irish are going their way. We've got to make sure we put them in their half with a kicking game and hopefully put some pressure on them.
All right, Luke, thanks so much for your time. Stuart Miles, all yours.
Got you, mate.
Thanks, Graham. Of course, with those results elsewhere in the country, if Sale do go on to win and Gloucester get nothing out of this, Gloucester won't be going top of the table. In fact, they won't be staying in second place. Sale on 34 points at the start of the day, Gloucester on 37, And Quinn's making a move too, and they have a game in hand.
And you think Bath still to come, and Leicester. It's so tight that you get a couple of losses. You get a run, as Gloucester are enduring at the moment. You can fall away quickly. And being out of Europe, Gloucester have to be there at the end of this Premiership season. They really do.
An energised start from Satala, to the delight of the crowd. Barkley only just got that over Sevialii. Armitage and Hewitt, and round comes Dermody. That's strong work from the loose head prop. Hodgson to Hewitt. Barkley, very relaxed taking that, not so relaxed now as he charges on after this to try and, well, tackle Ojo, but Ojo slipped him a little bit too easily there.
Don't block it. Three, your own last
To be
foot.
fair, the surface down there is
Stay there, 4, your own last foot.
surely not the easiest to move in.
Outside.
Probably tend to hold your line in that mud. Lawson to Trinder.
Away, Green, hands out.
Better from Trinder, was turned over very early on in the match, but didn't seem to let it affect him. Azam.
Hands. Stay.
Lawson. Here's Somerville. Lawson. Well taken by Barkley.
Stop it.
Hallett of Fear is under this.
Time off. Flag.
But the touch judge
Space,
on this
please.
near side,
5,
Stuart
take them
Terriage,
back.
has spotted something else. Got involved in the first half, he's got involved right at the start of the second.
Again, it's all yours.
8 here on the scrum half, 2 green.
Nice.
Penalty.
Penalty, last chance they get.
David Pace is 2 green.
Rory Lawson, for the second time, receives a penalty, having been hit late by an Irish forward.
Same as
Pace
them
in
in the
first half.
First half. Late hit on the scrum half. Cut it out.
Okay, sir.
He's in a fairly generous mood today, Dave Pearson, isn't he?
He's got a yellow shirt, but as yet no yellow card to emerge from his black shorts. Andy Hazel is being prepared to come on.
7.
Now this will lead to a big cheer. He's been out since November. As popular as you can get at this club, Andy Hazel. Listen to the roar.
Again, Barkley didn't really go for the corner, but Gloucester get a rare moment. They're inside the London Irish 22. And they've been nicked again. 5. Oof, you cannot win with this sort of line-out.
It's getting ridiculous, really. The shakiest of platforms to launch a victory bid, but here's Simpson-Daniel.
So when do they think we don't kick it to touch and we pick up the pace on the game? Does anyone make that decision?
Here's Walker making the decision to go through the middle. Lovely little ball inside, but Dickinson couldn't take it. London Irish could. Leotoa,
Leave it, Red, leave
who's
it!
played 21 times for Tonga.
Advantage over.
And there's Australian Hewitt, and it's taken by the Scot Lawson.
No hands! Stay.
Barkley.
Walk that, walk it.
Well,
Touch the line.
did go dead. Just clipped the line, and it's a scrum all the way back for execution from Ollie Barkley
pressure on
there.
you at all, that's why.
Just a waste of a very good attacking position there. That was better from Willie
22
Walker.
Oscar.
Just about the first time, I think, that Gloucester have breached the London Irish line in a useful attacking position. But then Gloucester just couldn't hold on to the ball. Faded it out, and then a little right hand flick inside. That's a good offload there. And it's Dickinson, I'm afraid, just couldn't take that.
Shades of Ollie Morgan there from Walker coming through the middle. He scored 6 tries this season, Morgan. No Tyndall today either, no Narroway. What about these Gloucester missing men?
Right, they're missing them just as much as you just saw Nick Kennedy steal that line out. Armitage and Kennedy are going really well. Gloucester are missing them, and there's no doubt at all, inadvertently, Martin Johnson has handed
Allen gets in to get a boot on, and it is Mapasur trying to control it, and he didn't initially there.
Goes one. Stay.
Irish have it with Hodgson and Hewitt.
They're just saying yes. Inadvertently, England had provided a helping hand to Gloucester. Gloucester, Luke Narroway saying, was short on confidence. They feel that everything is going against them at the moment. They need something to go their way, and he felt for a second it might be that hack through from Anthony Allen. Again, Mapasur, quick, off his feet, good defence.
Azam, he is going to the front, but that was hardly for double top.
Stay.
Came downstairs.
Stay.
Delve.
Forward!
It's good work from Somerville there. Really helped out Delve when he needed it most. Alex Brown, always committed, always game to do exactly that. Barkley, Allen. Can Gloucester find a key here?
He's bounced a couple, Anthony Allen, you know, just now and again. He's got a low centre of gravity. He looks the one in midfield.
22 now, a bit more of him
Play on. Balls out.
than there was when he burst onto the scene and got those England caps a couple of years ago now. Holding on, says Dave Pearson.
He was on his feet over the
Frustrating
top
is that
of you.
for Gloucester?
Let's play with it, lads. The line out coming.
Once again, so often, if you just try and build gradually through phases, of Gloucester have done when they've been in opposition half, in the end, the defence just wear you down. And it was an interesting statistic that London Irish score so few from 6 phases or more. That's because they go 1 or 2 phases, and if it's not on, Hewitt just says, we're going nowhere. Let's just fire this ball down long.
Frontline Phil.
Thanks, Miles. Just looking at London Irish's control at this contact area. Gloucester not controlling things well. London Irish superb. Look at the area circled, how Thompson, Casey and Kennedy go over the ball and control, and they clear their lines. Superb play.
Indeed it was. Pace throws.
It's moved. It's moved.
Hodgson. Neat scrum half, Hodgson.
Knock back, play on. Advantage, knock on.
There he is again. He does some very skillful things at pace. And Hewitt. Slingy pass out to Ojo was never going to work. And Gloucester have the chance to put into this scrum, and they're going to make another change in their scrum half position as Rory Lawson goes off, and Dave Lewis, 19-year-old Dave Lewis, comes on, another light trender at the local Hartbury College.
He's a very good player, you know, Dave Lewis. Very exciting. He struggled a little bit when he came on against the Blues and didn't get the start in Biarritz, but he's a very bright player. Both he and Ben Youngs at Leicester, 2 of the young brigade of England who big things are expected of.
Really caught the eye, didn't he, if you saw our live game on Sky Sports in November during the autumn international period when he played against Bristol here. Richard Hughes comes on. And he replaces Tonga Leatoa in the London Irish front row. Big for big.
Stay there, get up, sit 8, shoulder. Come on, stay tight.
Lewis, straight into it. Barkley. Allen. Armitage with the shed against him, and with Bolshaw against him as well.
That's a very good kick from Anthony Allen there. But the only problem is Gloucester now have to win the line out. But that was a clever kick. It stays in field. Decoy running from Trinder, end over end. Well handled by Armitage, but under normal circumstances you'd say that's 40 metres gained and you've got the line out throw, but the pressure so much on Azam as captain. And of course, Dowie said at half time, you know, under pressure you go to 2 and you secure the ball, but it's so difficult to use it.
Azam, is he going to find a man? Anthony Allen tries to rescue it. Lewis is caught high, but
Another one.
No, let it come, Ren! You lost it!
Yeah, he's a little man.
Take him back in.
Hewitt. Ball short.
Let him run. Mark it again, lads.
And that's going to bounce on.
Option.
So like Barkley before him, Bolshaw hitting that way too firmly.
There's a catalogue of errors from Gloucester at the moment, and it's compounded by the fact that the line out, they just have no idea what is going to happen with the ball. It's a complete lottery, and as for Bolshaw's kick there, wants to go into the corner to put pressure on London Irish, but even if it does go into the corner, London Irish have got complete control of that aspect of the game. And you know, I made the point, who in the Gloucester team is going to say when that ball goes into touch, we are getting decimated? There you can see, you know what Azam is trying to do? He's trying to go long so that you can get into the midfield of London Irish and get quick ball. But they just don't have the ability, or the pressure from London Irish is so great, there is no likelihood of winning that ball.
And with this line out, it's not as if the wheels have come off. It doesn't need a wheel change, it needs a spell in the garage, this one, for quite a long period. I mean, every line out, it seems, on Gloucester ball is no advantage to them. And there's something very badly wrong when that is the case.
Bortolami is now being brought on to try and fix it. There you can see one error after another, one wonderful piece of defensive play after another from London Irish from their perspective. Dave Lewis struggling now. Things just seem to be getting worse and worse for Gloucester at the moment.
He did twist and fall awkwardly after that tackle. Yeah, it does look like an ankle or a leg injury, and the young man just come on.
Terrible news for the scrum half, and terrible news for Gloucester as well. Ryan Lamb, specialist fly half, was going to have to go to 9.
I mean, no injury is good, of course, but, you know, 19-year-old, caught the eye this season, feeling like everything is sort of stretching out in front of him. If his side's not full of confidence, he has been full of confidence. Just hope that it's not too serious, but it doesn't look too good at the moment.
Now there you can see, gets the ball. Halafir goes in, swinging arm. It comes off the challenge, but he's turned his ankle there. Very hard to tell from that angle just how bad it is, but medical men will take their time as they rightly should. Was a worry.
Anxious looks, everybody knows who it is, and wish the young man well. The latest score here means, or would mean, Irish stretching their lead at the top of the table. They will go to 43 points. Sale Sharks winning in the 3 o'clock kickoff against Worcester. They will go second, and Gloucester slipped to third. And Sale, you could see, would have a game in hand, and Bart, not playing this weekend, would have 2 games in hand over Gloucester. It's a significant weekend, all right.
Dean Ryan now, he's had his problems with his other Ryan Lamb at fly half. Ryan Lamb now, of course, in the Churchill Cup, his half-back partner was Paul Hodgson. Who would have thought that they would be one against the other at scrum half now? And you know, London Irish have to put maximum pressure on Ryan Lamb. He's a confident player, he's a clever player, but he's in at a pivotal position at scrum half. It really does put a lot of pressure on Gloucester, and it makes the odds further against them here.
Stuart, we touched on a few moments ago the issue of Gloucester's absentees today. You know, Ollie Morgan, Mike Tyndall, Luke Narroway, and just take a look at that.
Well, as we said, you know, Kennedy and Armitage have gone really well. Stephen Armitage is missing, but because London Irish have been on top, he hasn't been missed quite as much as these guys. You know, no cutting edge. They've missed Morgan. Tyndall is the man that has got them over the gain line, beats a lot of players, and Narroway is also a very useful carrier of the ball, a hard worker there. I must say, I think Luke Narroway behind this pack would be struggling to do anything extra to Gareth Delve today. But yes, Gloucester are missing their men almost as much as London Irish are delighted to have 2 of their 4 playing.
Gloucester have also suffered from injury this season. Perhaps, you always say perhaps, because every side suffers injuries during the course of a season in this sport, but you know, maybe they have suffered worst in the Premiership. But also, you should counter that when you talk about Gloucester and mention the depth of their pockets and the depth, therefore, of their squad, which other sides could only dream of.
Exactly, you know, Gloucester along with Leicester are the most powerful clubs in England when it comes to salaries and recruiting players, so that in a way they can bear the pain more than most. It has hurt Gloucester, but I don't think Gloucester's problems at the moment are not a matter just of personnel. There's deeper issues here, and we're seeing it today. There is a lack of confidence, there is a lack of shape, there is a lack of structure in what they're trying to do, and what London Irish are doing at the moment, as we see young Dave Lewis go off, is just show in contrast what a well-structured team can do, especially in that first half.
And what the crowd are doing here is letting Dave Lewis know in his moments of pain just how much they feel for him. And of course our best wishes go to him. Let's hope that he's very quickly back on a rugby field. He's a fine young talent. What it means for Gloucester now is that they've got to have a stand-in scrum half. Rory Lawson having just been substituted for Dave Lewis. As a tactical change, Ryan Lamb will go in and play that role of number 9, wearing number 21.
Well, apart from prop, it's the most specialist position, the hardest to fit into. And prop, you can't have non-experts at scrum half. What can Gloucester do with Lamb there?
Well, what can they do with him indeed? London Irish put him on the floor, and how?
Battered. He is groggy.
He's wobbling a bit, Ryan Lamb. He's trying to come back. He was a bit nonplussed after that, but he's done well to get the ball away to Barkley. Simpson, Daniel on Ojo under pressure here. Armitage too. Trinder's after him. That's not the best pass. This could be going wrong. Thompson, he's caught now. Gloucester there in numbers. And just listen to the crowd now and how they respond to that chase. Plenty of guts in that.
That was strong from Adam Thompson. That was a difficult ball. He's done ever so well.
Hewitt, oh, he's launching a counter-attack. What a reply from London Irish. Now Ojo is trying to go with him. He says, send it down there. Ojo's after this. Boshaw across. Can he collect? No, he can't. Ojo with pace. Alongside, Hodgson is getting there.
Quick ball and it's a score.
Absolutely is, but is it quick ball? No, it's not. Gloucester slowing down. Referee Pearson says a penalty.
Well,
he may want to do more here if that was deemed to be a professional foul.
This is yellow card territory.
All right, just go. Don't need it. Go. No, release after the tackle.
From a position of great promise, suddenly, after the decision by Peter Hewitt to launch the counter-attack, and what a fine decision it was, Gloucester felt that they had to give the penalty away, and now Anthony Allen into the sin bin. It goes from bad to worse for Gloucester, really.
Well, it's a great break by Hewitt, but Gloucester here go to sleep. They've assumed he's kicking. Hewitt's away. Ojo's offers himself on the inside. It's not on. It's a great decision from Hewitt. Now, the great thing about David Pearson, he will not go yellow if he thinks it's not influencing the flow of the game hugely. When it's a crucial decision, when he thinks there is the likelihood of a try, unless you do as Anthony Allen did and slow it down, Pearson doesn't even think twice. And the crowd are booing, but that is outstanding refereeing there from Pearson. He has got that right, spot on. He's a good referee, and nobody uses the yellow cards as well as Dave Pearson. Prudent, but spot on.
And he's given Irish, and therefore Peter Hewitt, the chance here for the first points of this second half. Irish know, even if Gloucester are suffering a crisis of confidence, just how difficult it is to win at King's Home. And 3 points here would just edge them ever closer to that victory, and Hewitt has started it all with the counter-attack, ends that passage with 3 more points for the league leaders.
He has got a fine rugby brain, this guy. And what I love about that break, just looked up, he didn't care that he was in his own in goal. He saw the space. Gloucester at the moment is saying, in our own half we kick. We don't look what's in front of us. Hewitt saw a hole, went, and then he made the decision to kick. Bolshaw couldn't handle it, first of all. Ojo, who has again done everything asked of him, gets the ball. Allen gives the penalty away. Yellow card, 3 more points. Gloucester are in a mess.
They chase the restart with everything they've got. And they're going to have to keep doing that now for the remainder of this match.
5.
Next 10 minutes, it's 14 men. Cardiff Blues had 14 men for nearly an hour. Simpson-Daniel trying to turn in that mud again. Not easy. Dermody had followed up, but Simpson-Daniel does turn to his teammates there. So possession, at least, is not lost.
A quick line out as well from Gareth Delve. That's the right thing for Gloucester. They cannot wait for slow lineups. They've got to go quick and pick the pace up.
Well, they can't rely on any set line out. Here's Barkley and Hazel, that's forward. Simpson-Daniel will be called back.
Leave him.
How do they do it? Where's it coming from, Stuart, for Gloucester?
I'd be a liar if I could say I know, Miles. I don't. It's not coming from anywhere at the moment. Right now, it's the intangible. When you see Leicester in this sort of hole, it's sheer will. You cannot see it coming as Dickinson goes off. Gloucester have got to dredge something up from their soul. They got to go back to times past at Gloucester. They need this crowd to lift them, because at the moment, London Irish look a thoroughly modern, professional, controlled outfit with complete control of this game. If it comes from anywhere right now, it comes from individual brilliance. But in this mud and playing from so deep, Gloucester can't even put themselves in the right positions to unleash those individuals.
Nick Wood is the man on for Dickinson into this Gloucester front row. There he is. Made his debut against London Irish 6 years ago.
Another player, Miles, who has fallen out of favour somewhat with Dean Ryan. Very high in the England pecking order, and then suddenly Dickinson had his place and he's having to fight very hard to get a starter berth.
In the Saxon squad now, Nick Wood. And he's certainly in that scrum and made an impression. Hello Fear was put under pressure now. Casey was in the right wing role, and it's Simpson-Daniel knocked it on. Just a little one, but a little one counts.
And another day, it goes his way. This time it doesn't. Bob Casey didn't fancy his chances one-on-one, and you think he's picked it up, and there it is, the fingertip error, as Nick Wood thinks he's on a 35-metre sprint to glory. They look a long way from glory at the moment, Gloucester, but Kingsholm is a formidable place, and this crowd will shout till the end if their team can give them anything to shout about.
Good scrummage, the last one for Gloucester, and this one even better because they've got the penalty. Wood's come on and he's made a difference here.
He's done very well, hasn't he? 2 great scrums from Gloucester. 2 really good scrums. Now they've got a chance at 3 points. London Irish scrum well for 20, but Gloucester is the one area in this game they've really put them under pressure, and I think maybe also Tongalea Toa going off and Wood coming on has just shifted the balance even further the home side's way. So there you go, there's one area, the scrum. But can a scrum take you from 9-21 to victory?
Well, this to take it to 12-21. It was clearly Pace who stood up first. Halfway through the sin bin period. London Irish got the penalty to start the sin bin. Can Barkley cancel that one out? Can it hold its line? Oh yes it can. Lovely little chip there from Barkley off the kicking tee, yes, but it's not easy kicking today. And Nick Wood, the man who set up that position for his kicker.
Well, you know, last Sunday David Flatman came on when Bath's scrum was being pummeled into obscurity by Toulouse, and it changed everything, and Nick Wood has come on and he's just given Gloucester an area of dominance. Could he be the unlikely hero? The crowd look and hope.
It'll be a popular one, given Gloucester's tradition in that department, which just faded in recent times. When you think about the great props that have graced the turf here at Kingsholm over the years.
Guard step. Take it in.
Lamb at scrum half, remember. This is Barkley. Hewitt at full back there.
Keep going. Out. Out.
Ryan Lamb. And he was encouraged to run it, I think, by the shed there. He had Bolshaw outside. And after the kicking exchange, it will be a Gloucester line out. How quickly will they take it? You can see the urgency, knowing that once it's set, the pressure starts. Let's quickly go on the front line with Phil.
Just backing up Barnsley's point about Nick Wood here. Circle there, Nick Wood and assistance from Azam, putting a lot of pressure, coming in and across and putting the pressure on London Irish's front row. Great work.
Pressure on the line out too, but it's accurate that time from Azam. And there he is. That's another clatter with Hella of fear, and he swung into Lewis, and Lewis went off. And he swung in again there. He does live very close to the edge on those tackles. Azam, who was accused of acting in the match here against the Cardiff Blues after the headbutt from Tom James. And there, the head clash.
Well, I'd just like to hope that it's accidental there. I think it is. I think he's looking for the challenge, but that's horrible looking. Oh, almost certain there. Halafia stopped looking at the man. He got his head down to make the challenge, and he just caught Azam there. And it makes you wonder about Azam. The slightest contact with Tom James's head, and he was down for about 5 minutes. He gets hit by a bullet there, and he's up. Nice refereeing. Did you hear Dave Pearson? Don't come across and tell me to give him a yellow card. We see it in the round ball game. Let's keep it out of rugby. Good referee.
From Bob Casey. He went up to Chris Haller of Fear and said, just calm it down a little bit, mate. We could lose the match on penalties here. Barkley still has to get them, though. He's keeping his side ticking. And tick-tock with that one. 3 more. Quarter of the match to go.
It's an amazing sport, isn't it? London Irish have been infinitely the superior team, and Gloucester are a converted try from the lead. We talked at the start of today how giving penalties away in the right place is cute. At the moment, they are just giving frenzied and silly penalties away, and they have allowed Barkley to chip Gloucester back into this game. They shouldn't be there, but Dean Ryan's men are.
1 minute now left on the sin bin. Gloucester have dealt with it very well indeed. Lamb certainly gives that extra long kicking option. Now it's London Irish's turn to take the quick line out. Hewitt. This will be Simpson-Daniels. Barkley. Up she goes again. Hewitt. Looks so cool in everything that he does. Armitage with Hazel there, putting him on the floor. Armitage is going to have to get back on his feet, though. Whistler's not gone, and Walker's kicking. Hewitt. Another little battle that goes Gloucester's way. Can they take advantage of it?
Yeah, they're just swinging their way, isn't it? Armitage didn't like that. Spent a bit of time on the ground after Andy Hazel muscled him all over the place. Anthony Allen is now back on. Well, that's late. Technically, that's a penalty, but he wasn't going very fast and he had no intent. And I must say that Armitage tried to milk that one a little bit.
It's going back to Azam at the front, to the line out. They look for that 5-metre move, but it's pace.
And it's another line out lost. Yet another.
Hodgson, Hewitt, and constantly now it seems Gloucester letting the London Irish kickers know
Well, Wood flattened Hewitt that
that
time.
they're in a battle here. Here's Lamb, out to Barkley. Bolshaw, well, did he ever really think he was going to get the ball? But he is going to get a penalty, and he's going to get more for his side. It'll be against 14, a big swing on the sin bin front now. Anthony Allen comes out, so Lala Mapasua goes in, and a penalty to take it within 3.
Well, London Irish are doing everything in their powers to lose this game in a crazy spell. They had the extra man when Allen went. They had a big lead. They didn't take advantage. They're giving penalties away in crazy positions. Now Mapasua turns the man. Oh, he's saying I can't get away from there. And there you go, the penalty conceded. You know, we said you can sometimes concede a lot and it's smart. 5-12 is not smart. This is stupid, and Gloucester are being given an open door.
And this is Barkley. And through the door. Somehow they've clawed it back to 3 points the difference.
Miles, great pressure now from Gloucester. And just watch this. 3 men in the front row attacking Hewitt. So quick. Look at Nick Wood there, putting everything in. He catches Hewitt. Gloucester are saying, you might be playing better than us, but we want this more than you. There is a swing from nearly nowhere.
Meanwhile, on comes James Hudson. Darnie Coetzee as well. David Pace, therefore, the hooker goes off, and Nick Kennedy's gone off. To the relief of the England management. Here's Barkley, left out of it, the England reckoning for now. With a full squad anyway. Ojo, charged down, Simpson Daniel, another one of those chases. Oh, Trender nearly from Strokosh.
London Irish have lost their poise completely at the moment. Who is going to just stabilise them? They are rocking here.
And that can happen in the Kingsholm cauldron. Armitage, he's held. Nick Ward is getting around. It's not just at the scrum. He's really putting himself about.
He's ignited this team, he has.
Bortolami too, look at him. Slugging it out at the breakdown. London Irish feel that Gloucester are coming through offside. Well, we had a point. Through they go again. It's a penalty this time.
Gloucester just slightly over-enthusiastic there. Oh, the crowd think we're building momentum, and then a penalty given. The other thing about Gloucester, Miles, second half, they've been disciplined. They have been putting huge pressure on, but not giving the penalties away. And Ojo, not made many errors, charged down by Simpson Daniel. Things are now breaking Gloucester's way.
Stuart, I just want to go back to the Mapasua sin bin and get your view. Do you think that was sufficient to send the man off the field?
No, and I suspect that had Gloucester not had a man down 10 minutes earlier, it might not have happened. You could say, did he make an effort to roll away? I don't think he did. Did you know he didn't? No. Was it quick ball where a try-scoring opportunity was there? No, it wasn't. I think that's a slightly hard call.
Just maybe, therefore, it was on the accumulation of penalties. But I agree, on the incident itself, not enough to send a man off for 10 minutes. Mike Catt is now on.
Yeah, he might just say, look, you're wrong side, it's cynical. There's been a lot of stupid penalties, and yet it's probably just the sheer weight of them that has hurt.
Hodgson. Simpson Daniel, there's space in front of him, there's acres of space. Now, long pass is the one, Bolshaw. Inside is Trinder, Bolshaw going on the outside. Oh, Simpson Daniel nearly arrived again. Bolshaw picks it up, but that's a knock-on.
Well, that was a brilliant tackle from Hodgson, but at last Simpson Daniel and Bolshaw in harmony there. Knock-on by Simpson Daniel, but this time he doesn't think, let's just kick it. Finds a bit of space, it's a lovely pass. Paul Hodgson, is there a better defensive nine in the Premiership? I don't think so. Brilliant tackle on him there, and Mike Catt just flails with his arm and it releases it from Simpson Daniel's grip. Cat has come on, and Cat is the man who has got to steady this rocking boat.
Close whether that was a knock-on or not. The Shed didn't think so, but I think we could have predicted that one in terms of their reaction, but it was very close indeed. London Irish get the put in. Gloucester all fired up. They haven't been winning the big games. We all know that. This is certainly a big game. Top two meeting here. Can they turn this around and change the psyche at the club by doing so?
It's interesting, Margie, you're quite right. Gloucester putting massive pressure on. They're coming in wide patterns, the front three. When Simpson-Daniel gets his ball, look at the three London Irish front rows. Gloucester were wide, they put the man under pressure. Those three are in a metre space. They say to Simpson-Daniel, dare you go outside us? Yes, I do.
And London Irish look to show their mettle and credentials here, but Hello Fear is struggling on the base of that scrum. And that was never going to be popular with the Shed either, as Dave Pearson says. Penalty against Gloucester.
It's a balancing act for Gloucester now. They have, well, they've scrapped their way back into this game, and they've been helped by London Irish, but now they're so keen to get this victory that they're just going over the top. They've got to stay calm now, but still ferocious.
Still have the man advantage, Gloucester. Bob Casey just drilling it into his side. This is far from the Madejski Stadium in the week before Christmas, where London Irish totally dominated the match in every aspect and won 42-12. Now Irish 21-18 up. It seemed like they'd won the match earlier, but that is a dangerous thing to feel at Kingsholm. Whatever the state of the Gloucester mind.
Well, at 50 minutes, it looked as if we could be on for a repetition of the Madejski, and London Irish at some stage thought they'd got this game won. They started giving silly penalties away, and the Gloucester crowd have lifted their team. It did stem, you know, with the scrums putting pressure on, and Barkley is kicking his goals beautifully.
Not straight. The irony of that is not lost on everybody in the ground. Not straight from Coetzee, the South African.
15 lads.
The wind's picking up, isn't it, right to left? It is behind Gloucester's backs, but I don't think that explains how crooked that one was. It's pressure, though, isn't it? Olivier Azan was feeling the pressure from the first minute, from this excellent line-out. Suddenly, Coetzee has come on. Gloucester are putting the pressure on. The errors come when the team feeling the pressure are on the back foot, and it's Irish now on that back foot.
Alex Corbisiero flying up the ranks with England too into the Saxon squad. He's on now to try and steady this front row for London Irish.
Touch, pause, engage. Stay down back row.
Replacement excuse has gone off.
Just the ball.
Allen looking for Barkley. He was there. Bolshaw off his wing. Bolshaw full of determination, that run from Ian Bolshaw. Trinder. Well, he won't have time to think about it at the moment, but he must be loving this, part of a Premiership day that he would have dreamt of.
Yeah, the nightmare now has become something far more exciting. He's right in the middle of quite some fight back. That's far more fluent there, and trying to get Bolshaw involved. It's very good defence, though, from London Irish. Very rugged on the gain line. Sevialiti doesn't go backwards there. Armitage involved, but that's very well organised there by the midfield. But there's no doubt, Gloucester, you can see they're playing with some belief now. He wasn't there for 50 minutes. Ryan Lamb at scrum half as well. If they win this one, they might just wonder if their season has really turned.
Irish have taken Thorpe out of the scrum again.
Stay down back row. Hold there.
He's doing the Stefan Armitage.
Here's Barkley. Here's Simpson-Daniel. Walker. Bolshaw trying to get on the end of that chip. It's all blood and guts now from Gloucester. No other way of looking at it, really. And they've got to see where it takes them. See what it leads to. Hodgson, with everybody gathered around him, he's going to kick.
Really good play from Thompson.
Still in play. Anthony Allen. Less than 10 minutes. Irish can see it coming back. Hodgson, great work at the breakdown again from Irish Cat into midfield. Seviali'i to Armitage, no.
Forward pass.
The Mike Cat initially did really well. He thought about kicking, realised it was on, but Seviali'i, I think, was going for the kick. He was chasing and he wasn't ready for Cat's pass.
Got it.
Cat checks, looks, he knows it's on now, but Seviali'i always just off the pace, and that's a poor pass.
60 seconds left for London Irish to hold out on this Simbin period.
Miles, when I said Thorpe is doing a Steffan Armitage, what London Irish often do is put Steffan Armitage, their open side, in the 10 channel. And if you look now at Thorpe, you can now see where the scrum is, but he is standing in that channel. There he is, right opposite Ollie Barkley.
You come this way.
Thorpe trying to show that it's not just about Steffan these days when it comes to the back row and London Irish. As good as Steffan Armitage has been this season, Thorpe and Dana, who's gone off in this game, and others have played their part. A very strong area for London Irish. Talking about strong, there's Delve.
Stay.
Another player delighted to be back on the field. This is Wood. Somerville trying to pull the Irish bodies away, and he's done that. Lamb, Delve again. He's got to do this by himself initially. Ball to Lamy. Lamb, Barkley. This is Allen. Does he have the confidence to go one? It's 2 on 1. It's Walker. Bolshaw is going to score. Kingsholm was demanding the right response from their team to the European disappointment. That was heightened today. In view of what was happening in this match.
After the pass had gone beyond him, the Gloucester player
But
was
there's
taken
doubt
out with
here.
the ball. It had no subsequent effect. It was certainly
get a number?
on the top. No, but it had.
It stands.
Well, Gloucester have been treading water with their back play. Suddenly, London Irish, almost tiring, they got too far infield, and a run-round ball just opens them up. Bolshaw scores. Barkley, Allen, that's a lovely missed ball. Trinder is taken out by 2, and that makes it a 2 on 1, and Walker's timing is excellent. It's a run-in for Bolshaw, and London Irish just lost their way. It's a good ball there from Walker. Simple running for Simpson Daniel. Gloucester have turned this around.
Gloucester in front. Bolshaw's try, his 50th in the Premiership. Barkley, big kick this. It's wide, so 2 points. A nervous 2-point lead for Gloucester, but they are in front.
Well, Miles, for once Thompson is caught. He's the man, the top of those 2. You can see this here. And because of that, it means that the missed pass is going to get to Walker, and then it is going to be into the arms of Ian Bolshaw. The 2 men there, Thompson should have stayed out on the full-back. It's a 2 on 1, it should have been a 2 on 2. The youngster's been superb all day, but he's just been drawn in, and it's beautifully worked by Gloucester.
Now do Gloucester have the nerve to win it, to close it out, where they suffered recently. The final stages of big games, and repeatedly so. Cat.
Retire Greens, Greens!
Of course, Irish will keep pushing for it. That's their way.
Hands Green!
And they will also be thinking, how have we got ourselves into this mess? How are we losing this game? Well, a glance at the scoreboard will now confirm that.
What's that,
They gave Gloucester a sniff of the momentum, and they've just taken it over now.
Still a long way to go.
Miles, how many times have we seen teams just try and play out the clock for 5 minutes and give a penalty away here? Gloucester do not want to mess around in their own half. They want to get the ball down Irish territory and put the pressure on.
Of course, Mapasua back on. As Barkley kicks to this very dangerous back three of London Irish. No Tanguy Thackenbow at the moment, out with a broken arm, but Armitage has just kicked that away and he's having a word with the referee. We should really be concentrating on where the ball is going. And it's Hala Ofir, nearly caught on his own lines in a kick himself.
Well, that's dangerous.
Here it comes for Gloucester. The call from Simpson Daniel on this side. And they've seen it as well, but Barkley can't take it. It's a knock-on advantage for London Irish.
Could have been game there, you know. It could have been game because Simpson Daniel was in a great position there. Gary Johnson would not have wanted a one-on-one.
Get away.
Dylan Armitage there, just making a little bit of a fuss again. Being the England fullback doesn't give you a right not to be touched on the field. Here's a bad kick from Hala Ofir. Now, if Barkley holds this, well, you can't see wide, but believe me, Simpson Daniel is hunting down that line. Amazing second half.
Amazing turnaround in what would happen at the top of the table tonight. You know, Gloucester were looking at going third. Now, as it stands, they would be sitting at the top of the pile with 9 wins.
It's one of the most remarkable turnarounds I have seen. From 49 minutes to going nowhere, and Gloucester started winning a couple of scrums. London Irish gave a couple of penalties away, and once they got within 6, it's been one-way traffic. And London Irish, I must say, have lost their poise and their shape quite badly.
If you'd have gone out after 50 minutes and said, I know the result of this, I'll catch up with it on the highlights later on, for once wouldn't have blamed you. But, you know, the lesson is you don't ditch a game in this Premiership. You really don't.
No dazzle, but it's been grit from Gloucester that's pulled them round here.
Hodgson. Mapasua. Here comes Walker. Ojo is a real and genuine threat there. Hala Ofir again, you know, the way he goes into those tackles every time, that arm does swing. So Gloucester penalty as they go over the top.
Penalty's just going the way of Gloucester now. Willie Walker very composed, and yeah, the right elbow is swinging now. And if a penalty is given for that, immediately you wouldn't mind it if a yellow card is given for that.
Time off.
It's a problem in the game, and there's no doubt at all the Pacific Island players are more guilty than most. And some people don't like you saying things like that, but it is a fact. You and I watch so much rugby, I'm afraid it is an awful Samoan trait. They don't mind hitting each other, but it is just unacceptable in this game. It's dangerous.
It's unforgivable, really. You might say I'm trying to dislodge the ball. If he doesn't watch it, he'll dislodge the head.
It's too dangerous. Dislodging a ball is no argument at all. It's a feeble defence there.
Anyway, the game is the major story here. And we have 2.5 minutes left.
Gloucester will be in no hurry to go to this line-out. Bordelami's done well since he came on as well, you know, some very important substitutions, and I must say, Somerville's role from Canterbury, a born winner. He's gone through the bad part of this game, he's going well. One
line out that Azam has to get right here. Lost so much ball at the line out today, Gloucester. Almost mortally damaged their chance of victory, but he does get it right. It is straight enough for the referee. And when it really mattered, the captain delivered there. It's a put into Gloucester.
We're in that period now where the protocols seem to be ignored and players will go over the top and kill ball. They don't stay on their feet. London Irish will be hollering at Dave Pearson to say, apply the rules. And Gloucester are taking their time.
Going into such important periods here. Gloucester next at Sale at home. Then away to Harlequins. You can see that one live on Sky Sports. Bath at home, Leicester away. You're talking about all the top sides there. And London Irish, it's Harlequins at home next. Then it's Bath, then it's Leicester. It's all coming to a head now. Delve, referee holds out an arm. It's a penalty. Breaking the binding. Off too quickly. Barkley has 3 points on the table. He also has a chance to run down the clock.
Well, I think this is just about it now. Take as long as Peter Hewitt does, and that'll give London Irish 1 minute. Barkley has kicked beautifully, but something turned this game, and I'm trying to find the logical reason, and